Well, hello and welcome to Southsea Matters. My name's John Sands and we're in the basement of the Broadway Coffee here again. Thank you, Dwayne, for letting us sit here. And I'm talking to Grasshopper Steve, as you're known as.
Yes,
But Grasshopper Coaching
is
is what you do.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, explain a little bit about yourself and what is Grasshopper Coaching?
so Grasshopper Coaching. It's a derivative of Grasshopper being the nickname I was given by an old coach of myself.
Yeah, you told me this story, didn't you? Yeah, let everyone know exactly why.
So Renata, back in Australia, used to coach me for triathlons and running, and I was probably one of her more difficult clients.
You gave her a challenge.
I did. I would just jump from event to event. So one week I could be trail running. Next week I could be doing a marathon. The week after I could be doing a triathlon. And so she was always scratching her head and wondering how to develop the program for me. And then she ended up with his name. Right, I'm going to call you Grasshopper because you just keep jumping from event to event.
And it stuck from then.
And it has. Yeah. So just a bit of trivia, really. But,
So what do you do then? Because fitness is a very big term. There's a lot of places out there giving fitness training. I think it's actually blossomed a lot since COVID and people wanting to get out.
Yeah.
But what do you deliver then? What's your focus?
Well, I'm a running coach, a triathlon coach, and a swimming coach, which doesn't really mean much apart from the fact that I spent a lot of money on qualifications.
Yeah.
But what I've tried to develop here in Southsea is a group of individuals. There's no sort of specifications as to who can be part of this group.
So you don't have to be an Ironman or anything like that.
No, it's open to everybody. And it started off with doing track sessions. So we go to Mountbatten every Tuesday, 6:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon. And basically I provide a session and people follow that session and run around the track. Okay. The track's a great place to do intensity work. It's safe. You've got no dogs, you've got no curbs to trip over. Because it's only 400 metres, anybody can see anybody else. It's great for me to be able to stand there and I can watch people run around. I can provide hints and tips.
So what are you looking for then? When you see someone run, I hear words such as pronation and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for form, really. And I'm looking for a form that's efficient. So efficient in arm movement, efficient in legs. I'm looking for smiles. If you can't do something and enjoy it most of the time, then why bother? It's all about fun and having a laugh, but at the same time providing some opportunity to run faster and to get better.
Yeah.
So the track sort of was on Tuesdays, and I realised then that you need something to complement it. And so I then introduced the Social Friday, the concept of an easy run on a Friday. And we used to do this quite a lot in Australia, where you would always end up at a place to have a coffee.
Yeah.
And that's just part of the element. It's part of building that
the
sort
social
of community.
Side, having a chat.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I just brought that back one step further by going, okay, we'll meet at the coffee shop. So we meet here at Broadway, 7:00 on a Friday, run for an hour. But there's always plenty of time to stop. Pictures, love taking the photographs.
Nice. So you're not full out. You are stopping at times.
If people aren't talking and chatting and having a bit of a laugh, then they're running too quickly. And the whole idea of the Friday session is, as I say, is to complement the hard work on a Tuesday. It's run easy, have a chat. If you can't talk and run, then you're running too fast.
I've heard that, yes.
For this particular type of session, and anybody that's a little bit slower, all I ask of the faster runners is you run to a point where we can then do a loop.
Yeah.
We do a loop back. Pick up the back runners, run with them, swap partners in someone different to have a chat with.
So it really is open for all levels.
Oh, totally.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So what got you into this? You're not born, a fitness coach, are you? So what made you get involved in this?
Well, I always wanted to run a marathon when I turned 50. And I failed. I wasn't able to do so. I tried on my own, and realised quite quickly that you need especially for something new, you need the support network around you. I was really fortunate in discovering a charity that was looking for runners, and that they would coach and train runners to be able to run a marathon.
Ah, nice.
And so there was this charity called Rivers Gift, who I'm closely associated with still, basically ran a program. You had to run yourself on 3 nights, I think it was.
Yeah.
They ran 2 nights and a long run over a weekend. They provided a coach, and basically they nurtured you through a program to be able to run a marathon. And so we all then ran Melbourne Marathon.
Which one did you run?
Melbourne.
Oh, this was when you were in Australia. Okay.
Yeah. You had to raise a little bit of money
Yeah.
to support the cause. Enjoyed it so much that I signed up for another one, but in the meantime I bumped into a few triathletes whilst training, and they seemed a little bit crazy, which suited me.
I have done. We spoke about it a few weeks ago, so I've actually done. I've done some sprint ones and one Olympic triathlon. Right. I loved the fact that you got the 3 different disciplines.
That's right.
Yeah, because I love swimming.
And
not so much running, but the swimming and the cycling I love.
No, it's great, and they complement each other quite nicely. But the only trouble I had was I couldn't swim when I first started doing them.
Well, not at all?
Not really,
Okay.
no. So I could run really well, obviously with all the marathon training and everything. I got in the pool, tried to swim 50 metres and didn't even get halfway and felt I was drowning.
Funny, isn't it? Yeah.
So I was thrashing around in the pool for quite a while, but that's part of the challenge, part of what I loved about it. It's something new to learn. You mentioned
Rivers Gift then. Is that a charity, an international charity, or is it Australian based?
It's an Australian charity, and the 2 founders, Carl and Alex, basically had a little boy called Rivers, who died after about 230 days. Right. And what drew me to this charity was when I was reading the form about it, I turned it over, read about River, and he actually died on my birthday.
Oh no! So it gave you a connection.
It gave me an automatic connection. Yeah. And when I approached Carl about it and the running crew, they were just really friendly and open, and they expected you to do the hard work. But if you want to achieve something, you have to do a bit of hard work.
And you do other stuff, and I know we've spoken about this as well. So you're basically running for food, aren't you? For the pantry, I mean, for the King's Church, I think, isn't it? The food bank at King's Church. Yeah. So what does that entail then?
Well, there was a lady over in Fareham who came up with the idea that running groups, and she introduced it through her own running group initially, but she then took the idea throughout the UK, and the whole idea was basically for runners to collect food, which could then be run to a food bank. And their focus was all around February and trying to get as many groups as possible to run in February with food to the food bank. And it was phenomenally successful. It was brilliant.
That's so good. That's so good.
But they started the idea back in probably October. And I thought, well, we're coming up to Christmas. Why not step in a little bit earlier? And so I just asked anybody that's involved in my running or tri groups or swimming, hey, when you come into one of the activities, just bring a tin.
Yeah.
So I then collected all the tins, and then one Friday we organised with the food bank, hey, we'd like to run down, take the tins. And so half a dozen of us or so ran down to the food bank with the tins.
I'm presuming you won't carry them in plastic bags or anything. How did you get it down there? Or were you carrying them?
Oh, so the first time we wore rucksacks, carried them down. Can't remember how many kilos. I think we had like 40 or 50 kilos in total. So we did that in November, repeated the exercise in December. And I think the second time we ended up with like close to 100 kilos. So we did get some help in transporting it.
There's exercise and there's exercise, isn't there?
And we didn't want all the tins to be bashed up or the pasta to be broken up. So and we took it down there and just gave it as a donation, which is just brilliant. And we'll probably do it a third time.
Brilliant. So if someone wants to get involved then, how do they get in touch with you?
The easiest way is just to look up Grasshopper Steve or Grasshopper Coaching. I've got the 2 Instagram accounts. I predominantly use Instagram.
Yeah.
Email grasshoppercoachinguk@gmail.com is reasonably easy to remember.
Yeah.
Or if you just see a large group of people running on a Friday morning,
Stop them.
yeah, stop. And in fact, we have actually gained members.
Come to here. When did you say you come to here?
Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning, we leave from Broadway Coffee Roasters. So
it's not open then, is it?
It's not open at 7, but Dwayne opens most mornings at 8:30. But I went to Dwayne at the beginning and said, hey, we'd like to run. Leaving at 7:30 is too late because people need to get to work, etc.
Yes, of course, yeah.
I said, and we don't want to hang around getting cold for 30 minutes. Would you think about opening? And he said, yeah, okay, we'll give it a crack.
Oh, fabulous.
And yeah, that's been going now for 18 months or so. And we've been coming here every Friday. And if I'm not available, if I'm away or if I'm not so well or I can't run, then there's one or two other individuals within the group who will just do the leading on that day. Yeah.
So we're coming up to summer now, and today's actually a glorious day, a little bit cold.
Fab, yeah.
And so how does your coaching, or not just the coaching, but what you do, how does that evolve for the summer?
Well, there's a couple of changes. So in winter we run Saturday mornings on hills, and we do a hill session, and then we go and run park run, and that's a really good combination.
Yeah.
However, now the evenings are drawn out with the change in the hour.
Of course, the clock's gone forward. Yeah.
So we move the hill session to a Thursday evening, and Saturdays is going to become about swimming.
Oh, nice.
So so I'm an open water coach. So I love going down and introducing individuals to the sea. I think last year I do a lot of one-to-one sessions. I think.
So you teach people because it's not like because I prefer sea swimming to swimming in a pool. I find that quite a sterile environment for me.
Yeah.
But it's completely different.
It is, yeah.
And what I love about sea swimming is the rhythms you get into with the waves. Like you don't want to put your head up when you've got a wave coming in, do you? You get a mouthful of salty water. But you do also have to be a little bit careful, don't you?
There's lots of risks associated to sea swimming that you don't get with pool swimming. When I was in Oz, I was a Aussie lifeguard, and so saw quite a lot of near misses and rescues and such like. So I'm very aware of the risks. Here the risk is very different to what we had out there because of the nature of where we're swimming at Southsea.
You're not likely to get eaten off this beach,
No, unlikely. No. Yes. But then the water isn't as clear as it is. So that's a factor. You've got the tide, which is pretty, in the currents, which are quite strong. Yeah. So there's a whole load of factors you need to be aware of. So if somebody can swim a little bit, I'll spend 45 minutes, an hour with someone on a one-to-one basis, introducing them to the beautiful concept of sea swimming. And
it is, it is amazing.
It is, and improving stroke, looking for improvements in efficiency. And I've coached individuals from basics, beginners, through to athletes that have represented GB.
And you do need to be careful now, even if it's warm here, the sea takes a lot longer, so you need to be aware of cold water shock.
You've got the cold water shock.
Going with someone.
Yep, absolutely.
If you're a beginner or you don't even if you are intermediate, you should have someone on the shore, shouldn't you, looking after you?
Somebody on what we call beach watch. So yes, lots of dangers, but they're acceptable risks in my mind. As long as you take the appropriate measures.
Yeah, and be wary, because the sea can.
And at this time of year, you certainly don't want to be spending too much time in it.
No, is it a minute a degree or something? I think that's what they say.
Yeah, it depends how used to it you are.
Or if you're wearing a wetsuit.
Wearing a wetsuit and how much natural protection you've got as well. Yeah, so that can make a bit of a difference.
Well, I've been swimming all year, but I'm looking forward to it being a little bit warmer.
It's about 10 degrees at the moment, I think.
It's chilly. You know when you're getting in there. Well, Steve, it's been a pleasure. Thank you again for spending the time with me. We've got one last question before we sign off. If you could have an hour with someone, alive or dead, or famous or not famous, who would that be?
So thankfully you gave me a little bit of time to think about this one.
I don't want to spring it on you last minute.
And it didn't actually take me long to think about who to invite or who I'd like to. And I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go with 4 people.
Oh, 4 people, okay.
Because I would love to spend some quality time with my grandparents.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Purely because I probably didn't maximise the opportunities when they were alive and I was younger. And just to learn from their perspective more about my parents, but also, they were alive, obviously quite a long time ago now, and in a very different world to what we currently live in.
Yeah.
And just to understand a little bit what, from an ancestry perspective,
what they went on. And that's a good message there as well, is that you don't, I know it's a cliche, but you don't appreciate them until they're gone, do you?
No.
And that's very much the case with my grandparents, yes.
Yeah. So, there's heaps of people I'd love to have a conversation with, but
it'd be a very crowded room, wouldn't it?
It would.
You've only got an hour. You've got to prioritise. Well, Steve, so again, people want to get in touch with you, go onto Instagram.
Instagram's probably the easiest. Grasshopper Steve, Grasshopper Coaching. Just shoot me a message. And
could they just pop along at 7:30?
7 o'clock on
a
Friday. They could, yes. I do like to, from a safety perspective, just have a little bit of information, obviously.
Oh, of course. No, I understand that. Yeah, so you can't just rock up and say, right, I'm going to go on. You need to.
If somebody did, I wouldn't turn them away, but I'd take them to one side, have a conversation. I just have to have an understanding about medical, make sure there's something there that, because I'm leading the group, I've got that little bit of responsibility to ensure that people are safe.
And is there a charge associated with that?
No. So the hill running I do, the social running I do, there's no charge. There is a fee for the track sessions. But they charge me for the track, so
and the swimming, the coaching of that.
Any one-to-one coaching is just a small fee.
So get in touch with yourself on the Instagram, and they can find out. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you very much, and I look forward to. Well, I'm certainly going to be in the sea.
Yeah,
soon,
I'll see you down there.
Take care. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, John. Thanks very much.